Bromeliad, you can ask me here. What's your question? You're a native English speaker. What are you asking me a question for? Your profile says you are a native speaker of English and you're fluent and you're learning Chinese. So what's your question? In general, I don't let anybody on stage if they're new until they've read my profile and they have seen my streams. So I don't. What do you want? You tell me first. If you can tell me what you want, maybe I'll help you. But I'm confused why you want help when you're a native speaker. It says you're a native speaker. No, see, that's why I don't talk to people because you don't even know who I am. You don't know anything about me. You just came to my room and just said, "Please talk to me." It's so desperate. I'm sorry, but I'd prefer if you watch and listen first. It's a classroom. I'm a teacher. That's what we're going to be doing here when there are enough people, okay? So, please tell me what you want or just watch. Okay, so Bromeliad, I know you have a question. You said you have a question. Ask your question. Ask it. Why can't you ask it right here? That's one. Why can't you ask your question here? That's first. Second, why do you have a fake profile? Why did you make a fake profile? That's suspect. So here's what I will do, Bromeliad. Here's what I will do for you. This is my file. Nobody is allowed on stage until they've read my file. So that's my classroom rule is you have to read the file first. Everybody here gets the file. So this link right here, copy that link and paste it into your browser and read my file, and then I will talk to you. But if you don't read the file, I will know. If you don't read it, I will know. Okay? Oh, see, he's gone. Ah, see, I told you. That's why I don't do that. That's why. Yeah, so annoying. All right. Hello, Kaka, and hello, Fook. How are you? 我会说一点点，还是一点点儿。Ah, there's my man. Thank you, LG. Thank you very much. See, that's a good man right there. LG. Thank you for following. Thank you for following my instructions. I appreciate that. And now you see why I made a file, right? LG, because people ask me all the same information, all the same questions all the time. So I made a file so that I don't have to answer those questions. Okay.所以我会说中文，可是这是英文课，所以我感觉你需要用英文，你试试看用英文，可以吗？I only talk to people if you have a question. So 我感觉如果你不会说英文，我感觉很多人他们听不懂你说什么，我们说什么，所以我感觉现在你可以听我。OK，我感觉你可以听一些，听得懂一些，听得懂一些。OK，如果我说太快了，没关系，我要你试试看，听我试试看明白了。OK，可以吗？谢谢。And it's coffee, iced coffee. Thank you, but I still think my Chinese is terrible. Oh, look at you. You've got iced coffee now, too? Well, cheers. You have an IELTS test in 5 days, not after 5 days. You have an IELTS test in 5 days. So, can I give you some advice? I can't give you a lot of advice in 5 days. That's not much time. So it's it's a little hard for me to help you when you have so little time. Here's what I'll tell you. One, I hope you have good materials like this one, right? I have an IELTS book here, right? This company, Barron's, they make great books for the IELTS. There's another company called Kaplan. They make great books for the IELTS. Cambridge also makes great books for the IELTS or the TOEFL. All three companies make great materials for both tests, the TOEFL or the IELTS. Then I would say focus on your weaknesses. This is the big mistake many students make. Many students, they practice the things that they're already good at because it makes them feel good to do it, right? So if you're good at speaking, then you practice speaking a lot. But if you're not good at writing, then you don't practice writing because you don't like it. It makes you feel bad, so you avoid it. And that is not the way to learn. Anytime you feel bad when you're trying to do something, that's what you need to do more of, not less of. You have to do it until you don't feel bad. That's the whole point here. So this is not an exercise of ego. This is not an exercise of ego. You have to focus on what's important, not what makes you happy. All right? So study the things that are difficult for you. Work on your reading if that's what's hard for you. Work on your writing if that's what's hard for you. Focus on your weaknesses. Okay? And then the other thing I tell people is you should take the test more than one time. Because if you think you're going to take it again, then you'll be more relaxed. So even if you don't take it a second time, you should tell yourself that you will or that you can. That way, when you go into the test, you'll be very relaxed. You'll be very calm. And you'll say, I'm going to do the best I can. And if I don't do well, that's okay. I'll take it again. Right? But here's the thing. Psychologically, if you tell yourself that it's okay, I could take it again, then you'll be more relaxed. And if you're more relaxed, then you'll probably do better. And then maybe you don't need to take it again. So that's why you should just tell yourself mentally, it's okay, I can take it again. All right? Even if you don't, tell yourself that you can, because it will make you more relaxed and that will help you with the test. All right? So that's the best advice I can give you in a short time. All right? All right, now. Hello, Susu. How was my square up with the hip hop kids? I don't have any squares. I don't have to square up with any hip hop kids because we get along just fine. We get along just fine. You want me to put the book up so you can take a screenshot? Here's the book that I have. This is an old one, though. This is like second edition, so this is very old, but they have the new edition. Okay, it's just Barron's. Okay? Hello, Mercy. Hello, Mike. All right, so here's how this works. I am a teacher. 90,000 people follow me here. They come and they ask me questions. So that's what you should do. You should ask me questions. But please, please ask good questions, okay? Don't come to the English class and ask, how can I learn English? Don't say, how can I master English in 2 weeks? You know, ask good questions. Or just listen, because other people will ask questions, and they probably have the same questions that you have. Okay, so just listen. If you don't know what to ask, just listen. All right? But the rest of you, if you're learning, then your job as a student is to have questions. Your job as a learner is to have questions. All right? So ask me. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to do my job. Let me do my job, people. I can't do my job if you don't ask me anything. Speaking English is very hard. Well, Mohammed, start simple. Okay? Start simple. Mohammed, let me give you a good website. Go there, Mohammed. This is American English at State. This is Basic English Conversations. Basic English Conversations. I just put it in the chat. Do you see it, Mohammed? Copy that and paste it into your browser. If you click it, it won't work, but if you copy it, it will. All right? I'll show you what that looks like very quickly. If anybody else wants to get that, you can. It's a free website. It's from the U.S. government, actually. Everyday Conversations, Learning American English. All right, and look, introductions and small talk, formal greetings, formal introductions, informal introductions, what time is it, telephone calls, weather reports, ordering a meal, at the doctor's office, asking directions, calling for help, shopping, transportation, how old are you, at the movies, hobbies, weddings, giving advice. It's a great, great little thing with, look, good morning, Professor Austin. How are you doing? Good morning, James. I'm doing well. And you? I'm great, thank you. This is my friend Emma. She is thinking about applying to this college. She has a few questions. Would you mind telling us about the process, please? All right? So go there. Check it out. All right? Let's see. How can you improve your writing? Stranger, the best way and the easiest way to improve your writing today is with AI. Grammar is just a basic system, okay? It's not complicated, really. So this is something that AI does very well, all right? So what you should do is you should tell ChatGPT or one of the AIs, Gemini, whichever one you like, tell it, I want to work on my writing. I want to improve my writing. Please help me improve my writing. Give me some exercises to improve my writing, right? And that's the best thing about this is you can type and you can write and then it will tell you that was pretty good, but you made this mistake and you could do it better if you did this. So you just have to tell it. Tell ChatGPT, please help me improve my writing. Correct what I did wrong and tell me why it was wrong. So the secret with ChatGPT or AI is you have to give it really good, clear instructions about what you want. If you give it very clear instructions about what you want, then it will do a pretty good job, okay, most of the time. If you just say, please help me write, that is not enough. That is not enough. You have to tell, I want to learn how to write academic writing. I want to write a story. I want to write articles. I want to be able to write an introduction. Okay? Tell it what you want and be clear. All right? Hello, AT. Hello, everyone. Susu says, I understand 90% of what you say, and I can speak 50% on my own. I can read, but I can't write at all. Do you have any suggestions? How can I expand my vocabulary? Do I need to learn to write? Well, yeah, writing would help, certainly. And you can write. If you can read, then you can write, can't you? It's very difficult. I mean, do you know your alphabet? Can you write A, B, C, D, E, F, G? You know that, okay? All right, so, Susu, sometimes when people tell me I can't do something, they're not really being honest with me. And I'll tell you why. Because it's not that you can't do it. It's that you can't do it at the level that you want to. So your Chinese level is way up here. So when you say I can't do it in English, that means I can't do it way up here. I'm not asking you to do it way up here. I'm asking you to do it way down here. Basic 简单的英文. Okay? So, the other thing is, well, yeah, I think honestly, Susu, if you want to ride a bike, then get on the bike. If you want to learn to write, then write. And you should, I think you should get just a basic level of writing. All right? Just a basic level. You don't have to be a master, but I definitely think that you should be able to write basic things like an introduction. All right? So I'm going to give you a homework assignment. That's your homework. I want you to sit down and write a perfect Chinese introduction, okay? And then I want you to try to create an English version of that. All right? Try. How can I overcome being nervous during my first English presentation? June, when you present, is this a presentation for school, June, or for work? For work. Okay. So, June, I learned a long time ago that, I used to be really, really, really nervous on stage. I used to be extremely nervous on stage. But teaching really helped me because teaching is a stage. You have an audience and you're in front of them and you're telling them things. It's a presentation, right? But there's a big difference when you're teaching. Teaching is where they need help and you want to help. That doesn't feel as scary as when you feel like everybody's looking at me. This is scary. Everybody's looking at me and judging me. That's what presentations usually feel like. People are looking at me. They're judging me. Okay, forget that. No. This is your classroom. These people want to know something, and you know. So you're going to teach them about it. You're just explaining something that you know to them. That's not so scary. So mindset is really important. Okay, June? Okay, let's see. Next question. Hello, Language Warrior. Hello, I'm fine. How many students have I had since I started teaching? I have no idea. That's a big number. I don't know. Thousands? Many thousands? I don't know. I mean, I started teaching drums when I was 18 years old, and I had, I'd usually have around 60 or 70 students, probably about 70 students a week. And that was private students. And then I did high schools. I had 3 different high schools that I worked with. And then I also taught overseas in multiple different schools. And then I've taught online as well. I don't know. It's a pretty big number. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't count. Your listening skills are poor, Fluke says. Should I turn on subtitles or not? Please give me advice. Fluke, listening skills, I think you need to listen a lot, okay? You have to listen a lot to improve your listening skills. But you have to listen to good things, not just anything. Don't make your life more difficult by choosing someone to listen to who doesn't speak well. If you choose somebody who has a weird voice or a difficult voice, then you're making your job harder. Okay, so my voice you can understand, right? Okay, so that means you can understand if people speak clearly. You can understand. All right, so that means you have to find more people like that. All right? Language is like music, okay? And advanced communication is like advanced music. You're not ready for that yet. You're not ready for that yet. That's advanced jazz, man. That's jazz. You can't handle jazz. You're at the, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. You're at that part. you're down there. Those are the songs that you're working with right now, okay? But you want to listen to everything. That's jazz. You're not ready for jazz. Start with basic things. All right? Simple music. All right? And Fluke, I also think audiobooks would be very good for you. Audiobooks. And Fluke, if you don't know this website, please go check this website out. eslfast.com. That is a website that has a lot of reading. It's reading, but they have a recording for all of the readings that you can listen to. Okay, so check that out. Tips to improve pronunciation. Rose, tongue twisters, tongue twisters, tongue twisters, tongue twisters. Okay? Make a list of all the sounds in English that are difficult for you. Like, think about the words that you can't pronounce well. And then think about why. Is it the R sound? Is it the P sound? Is it the TH sound? What is it? And if it is the R sound, then I want you to find a bunch of R tongue twisters, English tongue twisters that use R. Okay, if you just do a search, there are lots of them. Okay, and then repeat them every single day. And the secret with tongue twisters are very difficult because you have so many of the same movement together quickly. So what that means is you have to learn to articulate. Articulation means very clear movements of your mouth. Okay? So, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. She sells seashells down by the seashore. She sells seashells down by the seashore. She sells seashells down by the seashore. I can do that because I articulate. Okay, so you need to do that too. Can you use AI in exams? No. You can use it to practice for your exam, yes. If everything we can learn from AI, then why is the IELTS method still existing? Well, AI is very new, okay? First of all, AI is very new. Second, it's not a replacement for the IELTS test or the TOEFL test. Those tests are proficiency tests. Those tests are to see what your ability is. Okay, so you need those tests no matter what. AI is just good as a new source of information, guys. This is like when I was a boy, we had the encyclopedia. So if I wanted to write a report about dolphins, then I had to go to my brother's room and I would get the D book, the D encyclopedia, and I would look up dolphins and I would read about dolphins, and that was my information. And then we got a computer and the internet, and now I could look up all kinds of things about the internet, about dolphins and about, you know, their lives and things like that on the internet, right? And now we have AI. It's just a new tool, it's a new source of information. It scares people because the format is conversational, and that is weird for you. You feel like this is weird. Information doesn't usually talk back to me. But that's what this is. It's information that can talk back to you. So if you ask it a question and you don't understand, all you have to do is say, I don't understand. That's new. Okay? Google, if you didn't understand, then maybe you could search for another website to explain it or another website to explain it, but Google couldn't help you. Not really. But now AI will try to help you, and it will try to explain it again in another way, or another way, or another way, infinitely. All right? So it's just a tool for learning or for processing data activities, data actions, anything that you can do that uses computers. Let's see. How can you remember new vocabulary? Gamar, did you read my article about vocabulary? I thought we talked about this already. I have an article about vocabulary, and you need to read it because that's how you remember. It's in my article. Okay? If you're new, then you need to get this from me. If you are new, please, please, please copy this link and paste it into your browser and read that file. Everything you want to know about me is in that file. Please, I made that file for you because everybody asks me these questions. All right, so if you want to know my schedule, it's in that file. If you want to know who is this guy and what's he doing here, it's in that file. If you want to know my website and my blog and my YouTube channel, it's in that file. If you want to know, there are 4 articles that I wrote. I have written them for you about vocabulary, about how to learn English better, about how to think in English, okay? And yes, 如果你们是中国人，大家你们可以看这个。What is it again? Wait, I gotta make sure it's right. Yeah. 这是我的微信。Find me on WeChat and I'll send you my file. Okay? I can't give it to you on HelloTalk. You can't open it in China. So if you want it, you can find me on WeChat and I'll give it to you. Okay? But you have to wait until later. If you add me now, that's fine, but I'm not going to check it until later. All right? So I'll send it to you later. All right. Again, please be patient. I'm trying to answer all the questions. Is there any difficulty with writing English? Yeah, Suzu, I think you're using the word can't too much. You're saying the word can't way too much. Can you write your name? Can you write your name? My name is Susu. Can you write that? The file is about this. This is the file right here. This is the file. Hello, new friend. Welcome to my English online classroom. I'm Teacher Mark, an American TEFL certified teacher with 17 plus years experience teaching English. I'm one of the most followed accounts on HelloTalk. That is what the file is right here. When do I teach? There's my YouTube, there's my website, there's my blog. Here are articles, and here are my classroom rules. Okay? Yeah, I have rules. I have rules. Okay, let's see. Can I speak faster? I can't speak faster now. I'm teaching everybody right now, June, not just you. All right. If you want me to speak fast, okay, here I'll read this. Please treat my live classrooms. I'm sorry. Let's start again. Please treat my live streams like a classroom. How to participate? Please treat my Hello Talk live streams like you're in a classroom. You're welcome here, and I'm glad you're here. But consider this is a real classroom, not a casual chat room. On Hello Talk, I've taught more than 2,300 hours of free teaching live streams for you. So I would ask that you respect the amount of time and effort I have put into what I do by following the rules and standards that I expect in my live streaming classrooms. Okay, there. I spoke fast for you. Let's see. One moment, please. Okay, if you don't understand should, could, and would, then this is a great page here. This is Espresso English, and they have a really great explanation about should, could, and would. Okay? This page is free. Use should or shouldn't for advice, right? That's not good. You should go to the doctor. You're sick. You should go to the doctor. Or you shouldn't stay up so late, right? You shouldn't eat too much fast food, right? You use could or couldn't for things that were in the past, abilities from the past, right? So when I was younger, I could run much faster. When I was younger, I could run much faster, okay? Or yesterday, I couldn't find my wallet. Yesterday, I couldn't find my wallet. Or last year, I couldn't speak English, but now I can. Okay? Or you use could for possibilities in the future, like you could go to my website and find more links. You could study this. You could read this book if you want to learn more. Okay? These are possibilities of things in the future. And you can also use could for polite requests, like, could you please open the window? Or could you turn the music down? Okay? So that website has a great explanation, including a video. Okay? Now, let's see. I have watched... What? Okay, Muhammad, no, I have never listened to Andrew Tate because I find Andrew Tate to be a detestable human being. Andrew Tate is a piece of human garbage. I would never watch or listen to anything that piece of trash says. Please don't. He's not a real man. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's lying to you. He's just selling you his fame. He makes you want to be like that, and you think you can, so he tells you, oh, just do like I am. Just say these terrible things to girls. Just act like a complete beep. No, man. I'm sorry, Muhammad, but Andrew Tate is everything that a man is not. Okay? Kareem saying, I make an amazing presentation, but I prepared before I make them. I can't speak spontaneously. Should I prepare before I... So, all right. Sometimes when you make a presentation, it depends on the kind of presentation, right? If I'm giving a speech, If I give a complete speech, if it's very serious, then I might write every single word and read every word. But usually, when I give any kind of a presentation, I don't write every word. No, no, no. I just write the key word, right? Just write the most important thing that will help you remember what you want to say. And then you can speak spontaneously about it. So just write ideas, just concepts, ideas, short, very short, 3 or 4 words, no more. Okay? So if you're talking about ice cream, you can say ice cream and then flavors of ice cream and then chocolate, vanilla, right? Or you can say ice cream, sizes of ice cream, or you can say where does ice cream come from? And then you can tell the story, right? So don't write everything, just write a few key words or key notes that will help you remember what you want to talk about, and then you can speak freely about it. Okay? That's how my mind works even when I'm teaching. When you ask me a question, my mind immediately tries to make little notes about what I'm going to say. All right? Like that way I can just think about those points and then tell you what I need to tell you. Okay? I'm really glad that you don't understand him. I don't want you to understand him. How can you remember phrasal verbs? Phrasal verbs are one of the most difficult things in English. So here's my trick. What I want you to do is first study phrasal verbs in groups. Choose one word like do or get, right? And then look, like get has 66 different ways to use it. I think there are 66. So do you need to know all of those? Do you need to know every form of get? No, probably not. But what I want you to do is look at all 66 and then maybe get a marker and make a list of, or make a highlight the ones that are useful to you. When you see that one, like for example, get over means maybe you had a breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend and you need some time before you feel better. That's called getting over it, right? To get over someone means that you broke up and now you're going to be sad for a while and then you'll be okay. That's getting over the sadness. So to get over it, all right? That would be a good one if that's useful to you. Then learn those. So look at them in a group and then choose the ones that are useful to you and use those, all right? Oh, man. Hold on a minute, everybody. I gotta catch my breath. What does glad hand mean? A glad hand means just a welcoming handshake, right? So if someone shakes your hand and they're like, yeah, hi, nice to meet you, and they're very happy, then that's a glad hand. Sometimes when you meet somebody, they shake your hand, but it doesn't feel very welcoming. That's not a glad hand, okay? And sometimes it's performative, right? Like politicians. Politicians are always happy. Like, even when they're lying to your face. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Even if they hate you, they might hate you, but oh, it's so nice to meet you, right? So sometimes a glad hand means it's like fake, okay? Because during a conversation with native speakers who use a lot of phrasal verbs, okay, where do you have these conversations? At work? Online? You're welcome, Fluke. Hello, Belen. So, Susu, it sounds like you do have a tricky problem. This is a problem that is. When I teach people, I tell everybody that language is like a table, and you have 8 different legs on this table. 8, okay? And those 8 legs are reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Those are the 8 parts of language. That is your table. Your table has to be even, okay? It has to be level, okay? But right now, your table is you have good speaking and you have good reading and you have good listening, but your writing is down here. So your table is like this, okay? And if you study too long like that, then it gets bad. It's like now your table is like this, where your writing is way down here, but your other abilities are way up here. That's hard because, Susu, that means you need to go back and start again. You need to learn how to do those things from a basic level. And that is difficult, but not impossible. And it is what you need to do. You will feel so much better if you do this. You just need about 3 months, maybe 6 months. If you can just be serious about this for 3 or 6 months, then you can raise the level of your table to be even again. All right? What should you focus on more? Verbs, nouns, adjectives, or just mix them? What should you really lean on? Well, Sergey, that's kind of like talking about how to build a house, right? When you build a house, you need this kind of wood, and you need nails, and you need, screws. So there are lots of different parts that you need. You need all of them, right? If you just have wood but you have no nails, how are you gonna make your house, right? So that's how verbs and nouns and adjectives are. They're like the different parts of the building, right? And you need all of them in different ways. So verbs tell you what to do. They tell you what is possible. Actions, they tell you the actions that are possible in life. Nouns tell you the things that are possible in life. And adjectives tell you about those things in life. They tell you more information about the things in life. Adverbs tell you more information about the actions in life. So they all are important in different ways. Okay? Can you turn down the music? Could you turn down the music? What's most appropriate? Both are fine. I mean, in this case, Alexander, I think they both would be the same. They both could be completely the same. But the tone of how you ask could be different. So, you could ask these 2 questions: can you turn down the music, or could you turn down the music? You can ask them politely or impolitely. So you could say, can you turn down the music? That's kind of polite. Could you turn down the music is a little more polite, right? But if I say, can you turn down the music? Or could you turn down the music? That's more serious, more stern, right? So the tone of it kind of matters. But they're both completely the same. It's more about the emotional tone that you use with them, okay? Okay, let's see. What about come around? Come around can mean like, well, it has a few different meanings. Hold on, let me give you some examples. She has finally come around to my way of thinking. So maybe I'm arguing with you about something, but when we're finished, now you agree with me. So you have finally come around to my way of thinking. Okay? So to come around sometimes means to finally agree with you. Okay? Or to change your mind to agree with you now, right? Come around later could just mean, hey, if you want, you can come around later, which just means to come over, to come by, to come. All right? Or we also use come around to talk about like, for example, I could say winter always seems to come around quickly. It's like summer is here and then all of a sudden it's cold and winter has come around. So it's arrived. Right. It's, arrived, I think is probably the best way to say it. Okay? All right. Susu, yeah, I think it might be your network. Ken, I think you can replay my videos on Hello Talk. Some people say they can watch them and some people say they can't, so I don't know. But I think you can watch them on Hello Talk. Okay? And again, Susu, from now on, you are only allowed to use the word can't 3 times per week. All right? You're only allowed to say the word can't 3 times, or the words I can't. You can only say the words I can't 3 times per week. That's your limit. All right? People say I can't way too much. You can. It's going to be hard, but you can. And you need to learn to. Because guess what, Susu? When you do this thing, if you can do it, then you'll feel like, oh man, I did that. Now I can do anything. That's the beauty of accomplishing things, right? Because I became a good drummer, now I feel like, oh, look, I can do that. If I can do that, maybe I can do other things. All right? So I don't like the word can't. I don't like it. I hear it too much. I can't do it, Teacher Mark. I can't. Yes, you can. This is not... we're not talking about things that are an impossibility. You can. There are some things that are impossible in life. This is possible. All right? All right, one moment. Okay, what's the next question? Let's see. What's the difference between I have learned English for 2 hours and I have been learning English for 2 hours? So I have been learning English for 2 hours. That's present perfect continuous. And that's talking about the process and how long it takes, okay? So that means you started 2 hours before, right? And you're likely there, you're still there. You're still there with and doing whatever you're doing, right? You're still there reading or studying, okay? That's the most common way that people use this is that way. I have been learning English for 2 hours, okay? But if you say, I have learned English for 2 hours, that's present perfect simple. And that's talking about something that was completed or the experience of it. So that's like talking about you. It's more like you're talking about you finished a task, right? So I have learned English for 2 hours. It's like, oh, is that something you were trying to do? Is do studying for 2 hours? Oh, then you accomplished that task. Okay. All right. So I have been is more like talking about the length and duration, and I have learned is more like I did that task. Okay? English is really hard. Yes, it's hard, but it's not impossible. So can does mean certain and could does mean uncertain, but they also have other meanings. That's the problem is that the could has many meanings, right? There are different ways to use could, okay? All right. Yeah, right. So now you know, Susu. So it will be worth it. It's a big mountain to climb, but you'll feel great when you get to the top. All right. Okay. Particular and specific are synonyms. How do you apply them? Let me think about that for a minute. In most cases, I would say those are interchangeable. In my mind, I'm thinking of many situations where I would use those as synonyms. The only real difference is specific is more about precision, being precise or clear, but particular is more about a single one of something. Okay? So specific, how do let me try to give an example. If I say I need specific details, that means I need precise, exact details. But if I said this particular detail is important, then I'm saying this one detail is special. Okay? So particular is usually more about a singular thing. Specific could be plural, so details, right? I need specific details, right? Okay, and let's see. What's the difference between neglect, ignore, and overlook? Okay, ignore is the most common one. Hold on a second. Overlook is exactly what it sounds like, right? but you were looking, but there was something that you did not notice. You looked over it by accident. You didn't see it. Okay, so to overlook means there was something that you did not notice or did not see. Okay, that's specifically what that one means. Okay, to ignore means that there is something that you know is there, but you don't want to pay attention to it. So if you're talking to me, but I don't want to talk to you, then I'll ignore you. Like I don't even know you're there. I know you're there, but I'm going to pretend like you're not. That's to ignore something, right? Maybe people are teasing you at school, and so your mom will say, just ignore them. Right? Just ignore them. Pardon me. Neglect. Neglect is more, there's something that you should be doing or should have been doing, but you didn't. So, for example, if you have a dog, you have to feed your dog every day. You have to make sure it has water. You have to take it outside. If you don't do those things, then you are neglecting your dog. It means you're neglecting the things that you're supposed to do, right? You're not doing the things you're supposed to do. That's to show neglect. Okay? All right. You can't make long sentences. Yes, you can make 3 short sentences and put them together, and now you have 1 long sentence. I like music. I like food. I don't like wrestling. I like music, and I also like food, but I really don't like wrestling. 3 short sentences have now become 1 long sentence. That's all it is. It's just building like Legos. You just have to put them together. All right? What's the subtle difference between almost and nearly in formal and informal contexts? Or are they always interchangeable? That's a good question also. Wait a minute, let me think. In most cases, they are interchangeable. In most cases, the words almost or nearly. We're almost there, right? Maybe you're traveling, right? We're going to Chicago. Are we almost there? Yes, we're almost to Chicago. Are we nearly there? Yes, we're nearly to Chicago. Okay? But they have different rules about grammar and context, right? So, with negative things, you want to use, like for example, you'll say almost never, or almost no one, or almost nobody, or almost none of these, right? So you'll use negative words like almost none, almost negative, or almost no one, almost nobody, right? But we don't say that with nearly. We don't say almost nearly, okay? Or we don't say never nearly. We don't say no nearly. We don't say nobody nearly, okay? So negative words usually go with almost, but not with nearly, okay? The only exception would be nearly none. None is one word that you can use with nearly. That's the only one that I can think of. But then we have very and so. The words very and so don't use almost. We don't say very almost or almost very, and we don't say so almost or almost so. So don't use very or so with almost, but you can use very and so with nearly. So very nearly we lost the game. We very nearly lost. Means we almost lost. Okay? Or we We were so nearly. That's a little bit weird. Yeah, I think just stick with very, very nearly. And then you can also use not with nearly. So not nearly enough. We don't have enough. We have not nearly enough food. How much food do we have? Not nearly enough. Okay. All right. That was a hard one. Okay. Let's see. Do I also teach speaking skills? Yes. I teach anything you want me to teach. If you pay me, I'll teach you anything you want. What's the best way to use idioms? Do you just drop them into speech like normal words, or do I set them up first, like people say this, or there's a phrase? So idioms, yeah, idioms are one of those things where, you know, if you're in a situation where that idiom is useful, then you can use it, right? So, for example, if you go to a crowded room, sometimes we say, it's like sardines in here. It's like sardines. Sardines are little fish, and they come in a can, and they're packed together very tightly in the can. So when you say, it's like sardines in here, it means that it's so crowded that everybody's like this together. All right? So that's a situation where you'll see it, and then you'll think of what to say, right? Idioms are just little stories. That's all. They're just cute little stories that you can throw in that go, everybody will say, oh, yeah, that's true, right? So maybe, you know, your friend says, we have to go to the store now, and you say, okay, but can we also go to the bank because I need to go to the bank? So maybe we can kill two birds with one stone. We are going out anyway. That's one trip, but we can make two stops to kill two birds with one stone. Okay? So, wait for the situation, then use it. Okay? But, you know, the fun thing with a language is when you're learning a language, try. Just go ahead and say it when you think it's useful. Try. It's okay if it's not right. All right? Don't worry about it, guys. Jesus, this is just language. If you say the wrong words, the sky is not going to fall. Okay? Overlook versus blunder or make a mistake. Blunder is a mistake. A blunder is something you did wrong or made a mistake. To blunder is to make a mistake or to do something wrong. Yeah, an overlook is exactly what it sounds like. There's a lot of things here, but there's something that you did not see, so you overlooked it. Okay, that's all it means. Yeah, so Susu is apparently not able to write that much in English yet, but Susu, I want you to try. Okay, so turn on your English keyboard and start trying to use some simple sentences. Okay? The problem is if you learn a language and you have unequal abilities, then you feel like you can't speak at all, but you can speak. Start with simple things like yes and no, and, you know, simple words. All right? You can do it. All right? And Susu, yes, about that idiom, I taught that meaning yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Somebody was asking about break a leg, and I told them the meaning of where it comes from. You can watch that live stream maybe another time. Oh, well, no, you can't because it's on YouTube. I don't know. Have I ever been in Europe? What countries have I visited? Alexandra, I went to Europe for the first time last year. Or was it last year? The year before? 2024, right? Yeah. It was, I went to Germany. I went to Berlin. And I went to Poland for one day. To Poznan, Poland. And, because I was visiting a friend of mine from Ukraine who lives in Poznan now. My friend Ina, she moved to Poland, during the war. So I visited her, and I went to Berlin and visited my friend Gunther, and I went to Madrid and visited my friend Belen. So I have been to Europe once, and I have been to those places. What's my favorite idiom? I don't know. I'm so terrible with favorites. My mind doesn't like to stay on one thing like that, so I don't know. I'm terrible like that. My favorite idiom. I don't know. I'll have to think about that, Carolina. Did I like it? I loved it. I loved it. It was amazing. It was amazing. I wish I could. If I could travel all the time, I would. If I could travel all the time, I would. How many kids do I have? Why do you think I have kids? Why do I have to have kids? I have no kids. I'm not married. Yes, I have 90,000 kids. Okay, now, is anybody else here new? Is there anybody new who doesn't know who I am? If you don't know who I am, please say, I'm new. I don't know what's going on. Fine words doth butter no parsnips. Where did you see that? Is that Shakespeare? I think that's Shakespeare, isn't it? Let's see. I know what it means, but I'm just looking it up because it's an old English classic. So basically, it means talk is cheap. It means that anybody can speak or say something, but doing it is different. So fine words doth butter no parsnips means like you can say it's nice all you want, but if there's not butter on it, then it's not buttered. Right? So you can talk about the butter all you want, but if there's no butter, then it's not buttered. Okay? It's the biggest regret in my life. Not learning more. Not learning more. So if you don't know who I am, then you should go here. This is my file right here. This is my file. Look, everybody. Hello, new friend. Welcome to my English online classroom. Okay, get that file, get that file, get that file. Okay, this file has everything you need to know about me. If you want to know my schedule, it's in the file. If you want to know my website and my YouTube and my blog, they are in the file. If you want to know, these 4 articles are great for learning vocabulary and pronunciation. Well, no, vocabulary and thinking. And yeah, so read the file, please. And it also has my classroom rules. So please read the file. Copy the link and paste it in your browser and open it and read it. Okay? That's right. Words don't achieve results. Yeah, that's right. Pretty much. What idiom really motivates or inspires you in life? It's not an idiom, really. Well, okay, if you're looking for an idiom, then it would be carpe diem. That's Latin. It means seize the day. Carpe diem. Diem is day. Carpe means to grab or seize, hold, take. So what it means is don't waste your time and do things that matter. Okay, so that's probably my favorite. That's probably one that inspires me. But if you're looking for words that I think about more, I think about do unto others as you would have them do unto you, the golden rule, and to thine own self be true. This above all, to thine own self be true. Be true to yourself. That's from Macbeth. Hello, Day. Why is idiom so close to idiot? Ah, okay, that's a fun one to talk about. So let's look at the word idiot. Idiot comes from the Old French, idiota, and the Latin word idiota, which means an ordinary person, a layman, an outsider, an uneducated or ignorant person. And that comes from the Greek, idiotes, meaning a person who doesn't have any skill. So that is where the word idiot comes from. It means one moment. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember now. There's a website about this. Hold on, I'm looking for the right website. So the word idiom and the word idiot both have the same root. And the root is the word in Greek, the ancient Greek word idios. And it means your own or your private or your peculiar, your particular way, right? Your thing. So the word idiot was originally, it was talking about a private person, somebody who didn't hold public office. And if you didn't hold public office, maybe it's because you don't know anything, so you're ignorant, right? So the word idiot is funny because it means a stupid person, but a long time ago it meant a common person. It just meant a commoner, because commoners were not educated. Commoners couldn't read, couldn't write. So commoners usually couldn't be in politics, right? So the word idiom is actually it's talking about the way they speak, right? So the Greeks were brilliant speakers. They still study Greek speaking techniques, okay? It's called rhetoric. And so the word idiom, now the word idiom it means like a short story, like it's a few words that tell a short story. That's what an idiom is now. But the word idiom originally was talking about how well you could make those things, right? Where do idioms come from? Somebody said it first. Someone said these two words or these two things together to kill two birds with one stone, right? Somebody said that the first time, and when they did, everybody was like, wow, those are really great words, right? So that's why we call them idioms now, okay? But a long time ago, it was just talking about the way you spoke, okay? And the word idiot was talking about a common person who was not educated, so they couldn't speak well, and they couldn't participate in government, okay? And Johnny, hello, and Donia, hello, over there in my YouTube, hello. Okay, let's see. She's got your number. That means, yeah, if someone's got your number, that means they know you. They know what you're going to do, that they know you so well that you're predictable to them. Okay, she's got your number means she knows what you're going to do. Okay? You still don't understand articles. Okay, let's just talk about a cup. All right? Let's just talk about a cup. If I say I want a cup, I don't care what cup. It doesn't matter. Any cup. Just give me a cup, okay? If I say I want the cup, that means one. There's one cup that I want. Maybe it's the only one, so that's why I said the. Or maybe it's the one we always use for something, or the one I always use, right? So that's the cup, right? So the is talking about one particular special thing. A is talking about any one. It doesn't matter. Okay? So that's just the difference between a and the. All right? So let's talk about books, right? I want a book. Can you tell me a good book? Any book. Okay? But if I say, did you read the book? That's one book that we're talking about. Maybe it's the book that we're reading for class, right? We're reading this book, Food in History, for class, right? So I'll say, did you read the book? It means that book, okay? That specific book. Then the word an. An is just like a, but the word an is used for any word that begins with a sound that sounds like a vowel. So, for example, the word hour, like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Hour is spelled H-O-U-R, but because it sounds like hour, that's a vowel. The first letter is an H, but the sound is an O, right? Well, it's a vowel. Don't worry about which one it is. It's a vowel, right? So, so an words are just any word that begins with the sound of a vowel. You have to say an, not a. So, for example, we say an umbrella. We say an apple. Umbrella and apple, they begin with vowel sounds. umbrella, so it's an umbrella. Or the word orange, we don't say a orange, we say an orange. Okay? What are you doing up this late? Do we need to use up in the sentence? Yes, because it's like wake up. You are up. You are not down. You are up. Down is when you're sleeping. Okay, like we take a baby, we put the baby down to sleep. We put the baby down to sleep and you wake up. So when you say, what are you doing up this late? It means you're awake, you're up, you're moving around. Okay? You're not down in bed. Okay? You have a pronunciation problem. Pronunciation problems, you can solve them if you learn tongue twisters. Focus on phonics and tongue twisters. Okay? So A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, and all of the consonants, B, 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 ba, 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 C, 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 K, 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 D, 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 da, 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 F, 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 right? Go through all the sounds and then do tongue twisters. So if you have trouble with TH sounds, then do tongue twisters that have TH in them. Okay? Oh, wow. Man, you guys are... I'm running out of breath today. Why do other languages have masculine and feminine parts of speech? It's because many languages come from Latin and Greek, and Latin has feminine and masculine, right? So French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Romanian, and what's the other one? I can't think. There are like 5 or 6 languages that are Romance languages. And romance doesn't mean they're about love. No, Romance means they come from the Roman Empire. It means that they come from Latin language. 这是拉丁文. Okay, so in Latin has masculine and feminine, and so all of those languages have masculine, feminine, and neutral. What's harder, playing the drums or breaking down the kit after the show? That depends on the show, and that depends on the kit. You know, if you bring a big kit, then that's a bigger job. But some shows, when you play, it's kind of easy. It's not so hard. The music is simple, so it's not very hard to play the music, but then you have a lot of equipment, so that's the hard part. But then there are some shows where you only have a little bit of equipment, but the music is very challenging. Wow. Okay. Why do some native speakers say it don't matter, the grammar is wrong? Because, Gwen, life is not a grammar test, okay? And the way language works is when you go to school, you learn the language, right? You learn the language, but then after you leave school, language becomes its own thing. And language will go where you go. So, for example, if you graduate from school and then you go to college, now your language goes to college. So what do people sound like in college? That's what you need to sound like. So maybe that means you sound academic, or maybe that's like, hey, bro, what's up, dude? That's college language too, right? Or maybe you become a lawyer and your language goes there. So now your language becomes much higher. But what if you become, I don't know, maybe you just work at the convenience store. You just work at the convenience store. Does your language need to be up here if you work at the convenience store? No. So language goes where you go. And if you go someplace where they use simple language, your language becomes more simple and basic and Gwen, sometimes we break the rules because we can. Right? So it's a way to show ownership over the language. Do they know that it should be it doesn't matter? Most people do know that it should be it doesn't matter. Many of them don't, but most of them do. Okay? The ones who don't know, they've just forgotten. Because language is not that important for most people. Okay? A lot of people don't need great language in their lives. Okay? If you work on a ranch and all you do is deal with cows all day, then do you need to have great language? The cows don't care what you sound like. All right? So, but if you're a professor, then you need that language, right? Okay? All right. Okay, zero articles, Zainab. Those are for things that are general, like generalizations, like when you say dogs are loyal. Dogs are man's best friend. That's a generalization, so you don't need to use that. It's plural, also because it's plural or uncountable. Okay, so for the plural or uncountable things, then you don't need, those are generalizations. That's zero. So you don't need a, and, or the. Okay, or for like if you say water is essential, water is important, then that's a generalization. And then also for proper nouns, right? So if you say I lived in Japan, you don't say I lived in the Japan. You don't say I lived in a Japan. You just say I lived in Japan. Okay. Now there are a couple exceptions to that, like the Philippines, because the Philippines are a group of islands, so it is plural. Okay, so there are some places that refer to themselves in a plural way, so you have to use that plural way. Okay? Yeah. All right, let's keep going. What's the right pronunciation of equivocal, erudite, and opaque? Equivocal, 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 erudite, erudite, and opaque, opaque. Okay? And when I say it, I say more of a you, but some people say more of a ya. So erudite, erudite, but I think I pronounce it more with the u sound, erudite. That's the way I always heard it when I was a boy. Why do you all use down in random situations? I'm walking down the street means I'm just walking the straight way. How to explain that? Let me think. Wait a minute, let me check something. So yeah, this is a bit of a this is a very difficult thing to explain, Alexander. The word down or up when we're talking about walking, um, sometimes it's just random. Like, you know, Like, okay, for example, if I'm talking about going to talk to my neighbor lives up the street for two reasons. One, because my house is lower, the street is lower. So I'm walking uphill to go to his house. That's one reason why it's up the street. Another reason why it's up the street is because my house is at the end of the street. The street ends right where my house is. So that means that the beginning of the street is that way. That means I'm going up. Okay? Down would be going to the end, and up would be going back to the beginning, right? So it's not always random. Sometimes it's random, but sometimes there are subtle reasons why we say up or down the street. Directions on the map, you know, if it's north, maybe I'll say go up the street, right? Addresses, if it's close by, then we say it's just up the street. Or just down the street just means close by. Okay, in this case, that's like an adverbial phrase, maybe? Or no? It's still an adjective. Yeah, but yeah, so it's a little complicated to explain that one. It's sometimes random, but it's often there are subtle reasons why we would say up or down, okay? Hello from Switzerland. You can't speak English, but you speak German, Albanian, and Croatian. Wow. Okay, well, if you want to learn, then you're in a good place to learn. Thank you very much, Dana. Yes, some British people like to say me wife instead of my wife. Yeah, that's right. Well, technically, that's the way they used to say it. A long time ago, they said me wife. Language is a living thing. It changes over time. So the way we sound now is nothing like what it sounded before. English, 1,000 years ago, if you heard English, you would not understand anything. Okay? If you listen to English 1,000 years ago, I promise you won't understand any of it. It's changed that much. Okay? It's like a completely different language 1,000 years ago. What's the best way to become consistent in anything? Wow. Okay. I'll tell you, Rod 1, be part of a grand tradition. Be part of a grand tradition. If you want to be serious about something, if you want to take something seriously and be consistent, then you have to make yourself understand that you are one person that's part of a very, very big, long tradition that came before you. And that means that there's a massive amount of respect. You have a great amount of respect for what you're doing. Now, if you ignore what you're doing, you're showing disrespect to the tradition. You're showing disrespect to the grand tradition. So, if you want to take something seriously, try to imagine that you are now one of the English speakers in this world, and people have been learning English for hundreds of years, trying to become masters of English, and now you're part of that tradition. So when I play drums, I think about the fact that drumming is something that has gone on this planet for thousands of years. I'm part of a tradition that's thousands of years old. Now I take it seriously. I'm a teacher. Teaching is a tradition that's thousands of years old. Why do I take it seriously? Because I feel that I'm part of this grand tradition. Plato was a teacher. Socrates was a teacher. And now I'm a teacher? That's a lot of pressure. Right? That's a lot of pressure. So when you make yourself part of something bigger, it's harder to ignore. Okay? So there's the best way to become consistent. Make yourself part of something bigger. Okay? KK, it is 11:20 a.m. here now. Oh no, jeez. Look what I did. All right. So, if you are learning English, then you need to go to my website. Okay? This is my website here. Let me show you my website. This is my website. Okay, this is my website right here. And if you go to my website, if you're studying English, go here. It's free. You have to sign up with your email, but it's free. Then you can click on resources. And if you look at the resources, look, do you want to study reading? Then click on reading, and I have a bunch of links for you. Do you want to study writing? Click on writing. There are a bunch of links there for you. So everything that you need to study is here. Grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, speaking, listening, writing, reading, and the IELTS and TOEFL, right? So let's say you want to work on your writing. Let's click on writing. Oh, look at that. We have the Purdue University Online Writing Lab. This website is used by every every university in America. Every university student goes to this website for writing, okay? English Club, writing resources, Write and Improve, free writing practice tool, iteslj.org, topics and questions for practice. Okay, look, all of this, I put this here for you so you can study English, okay? The link is right there, Iman. I just gave you the link. That's it. That's it right there. Okay. Language Warrior, what happened? Was it lagging again? I don't know why it's lagging. It's not lagging for me. Oh. Yeah, Susu, I don't know why yours is so bad. Okay, again, if you're new here, I've been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years, and about 90,000 people follow me to learn English. So follow me, okay? Excuse me. And if you have questions, then please ask me your questions. I'm not here every day. I'm usually here Monday through Friday. Okay, and KK, it's 在中国就是晚上的大概9点半还是10点半晚上的。Susu, I don't think so. Hello Talk is a Chinese app. Hello Talk is in Shenzhen. So I don't think it has anything to do with that, but I don't know. What will I do after this live? I will have lunch, and then I will go work on my garden, and then I need to do some writing and some reading. And I think I have I do have a student later too. Do I have a number of family? What do you mean, Captain Mark? I'm not married. I don't have any kids. So if you mean that, then I'm single. 我是一个人。苏苏没有。零。Yes, my website is free. Yeah. Why am I single? I don't know. Why is the sky blue? Will there be any etymology? I'm always happy to do etymology. If you ask me about something, then I'll tell you about it. Ask me about a word, and I'll tell you where it comes from. Captain Mark. 你不知道我，为什么你感觉你知道我？你不知道。我有很多朋友。I'm not lonely. Everybody's lonely. But I'll tell you this, Captain Mark. The loneliest that you'll ever be is not when you're alone. The loneliest that you'll ever be is when you are with somebody, but you feel like you're alone. That's the loneliest lonely, is when you are with someone, but you don't feel like you are. So, you know what I'll tell you? I'll tell you this. Sure, I get lonely sometimes. And everyone should learn how to be okay with that. Everyone should learn how to be okay with being alone. I like people. I like girls. But being alone is not the end of the world. Okay? And if I were married and I did have kids, then guess what? I would not have any time to help you. So you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm single. You're welcome. Because I'm single, I'm here to teach you. That's right. That's right. If I were married, then I wouldn't have time to talk with you. That's right. Anyway. No more questions. Anyone have any other real questions for me? Does anybody have any actual real questions for me? Well, thank you very much. You're so sweet. Language warrior, thank you so much. You tried to read on topics and then write about them to improve my ability to convert thoughts into words as you told me. But really, how does that work? Solomon, you have to, when you read on something, read about it, think about it, talk about it, write about it. Read about it, think about it, talk about it, write about it. That is the process. Okay? Read, think, discuss, write your own ideas. Okay? Is my website a place you can learn English from scratch? Pretty much. Almost from scratch. Yeah. Almost. Anytime you want to learn something, that's the best way to do it is, read about it or study about it, right? Then think about it. Think about your thoughts about these ideas. Then talk about it with somebody else or with AI. Discuss it. Because when you discuss it, then you'll find more to think about. Then you'll have a better idea of what to write. Okay, so writing is like the final process. It's the final thing. When you really know what you want to say, you can write it. But before you do that, you need to think about it. And talking about it helps you think about it more. All right? So that has been the process of philosophy and learning. That's the way they used to do it all the time. Okay? There's a famous guy named John Stuart Mill. John Stuart Mill is a famous philosopher. And his father, every day, they would go for a walk in the woods, and his father would say, "What did you learn today? What did you learn? Tell me what you learned." And if he had to memorize something, then he had to recite it back to his father. And if his father made him study a concept, then he had to teach that concept to his father. So every day they would his father would make him talk about it and explain it and discuss it. And that's why he was so brilliant. Okay? Every morning before breakfast, they'd go for a walk, and his father would ask him questions about what he's been learning. You have to be able to explain it if you really know it. Okay? Okay, let's see. You always heard the word dynamics, but it's a passive word for me. I don't know how to use it. Dynamic, there are two words, dynamic and static. Static means something does not change at all. It stays the same. Okay? It's static. It stays the same. Okay? Dynamic is when it changes and goes up and down and up and down. So, Gwen, in music, dynamics means loud and soft, and loud and soft. So, this music has great dynamics, means it goes loud and soft, right? Or we could say this is a dynamic exercise, which means it's an exercise that makes you do stuff in many ways, up and down, maybe, okay? So dynamic things means things that continually change or move. Static things are things that stay the same, okay? One moment. The word deadline. Deadline is kind of a crazy term. A deadline just means, when something is due, right? A due date is a deadline, right? So we use this for homework. We use this maybe if you work, if your boss gives you a project and they say you have to have it done by this time, that's the deadline. Okay, now where does the word deadline come from? There's a story. They're not sure whether this is where it comes from or not, but it's a good story, so it'll help you remember the word. This goes back to the Civil War in America. The Civil War. In the Civil War, the Confederates, they were the South, right? So there was the North and the South, and the Confederates, they had a prison. There was one prison in Georgia where this one prison was famous because they made this line within the prison that was like 20, I think it was like 20 feet outside of the border of the walls, something like that. And the guards were told, if anybody goes outside that line, shoot them. Dead. Right? So if you cross that line, kill you. That's where the word originally came from, was that. But now a deadline means a finishing time. That's a time when you're expected to be finished. Okay? That's the deadline. Okay, so your boss will give you a deadline. Okay? What are the possible uses of the word due? Due means, for example, the due date means when something is supposed to be completed. That's the due date. Okay, it's when it's finished. That's when it's due. Rent, maybe when you pay your rent. When is your rent due? That's the time when you're supposed to pay. That's when it's due. Okay? Let me check something. Due can also mean because of. So maybe you say, we want to go to the park today, but due to rain, we can't go. Due to rain, because of rain, we can't go. All right? So the most common way is as an adjective, we say the train is due at 5 p.m. Or when is the baby due? Oh, the baby is due in March, right? The payment is due by Friday. Or we also say, if someone says, wow, you did a great job. You did a great job, but it wasn't you. It wasn't you. So you'll say, oh, no, it wasn't me. It was my friend, not me. I didn't do it. He was the one who did this wonderful thing. So you should give him his due credit where credit is due. That means I'm not owed any credit, but he is. Okay. And it also can be a noun. He got his due, but that's a not. It's a very uncommon way to use it. And that one means what you deserve. Like maybe you're a bad guy. You've done many bad things. And then somebody kills you, and somebody will say, "Oh, well, he got his due." Means he did many bad things, so a bad thing happened to him. Okay. And then the word dues with an S on the end of it. Dues is a thing that you pay. Like maybe you're in a club and you have to pay a little bit of money every month to be in that club. That's your dues. That's the money that you owe every month. It's due every month to be in that club. Okay? It can also be used to say directly north. If you say to go due north means exactly north, right? And then, yeah, and then the last way is just because of. Okay? Wow, that was a lot to go over. Okay, let's see. I think his speech and accent are easy and smooth without any affectation, and as far as I can see, it is because he's a teacher and therefore considerate of our circumstances, or is that just normal? You're correct. It's because I'm a teacher. It's my job to care about language. I'm an English teacher. So, of course, I try to speak well, not just speak. Okay? Can you go over giving the credit with the due? Sure. So when you do something good, then someone says, "Oh, well, wow, who did this?" And you say, "Oh, he did it." That's who deserves credit. Credit means who is assigned the praise. Who should you praise? Who should you say good job to? Who should you say good job to? That's what you're trying to do, right? So to give credit is to say he did a good job. Okay? So if I say good job, I'm giving you credit for the work you did. You did something good. I want to say good job to show that you did well. That was good. I'm giving you credit. Okay? It's like appreciation, respect, okay, for the work you did. All right? So when you say give credit where credit is due, that's what we say. That's a phrase. It's a saying. Give credit where credit is due. That means you should show appreciation for things when people do good things. When people do good work, you should appreciate it. Give credit where credit is due. Okay? And Princess Rabbit, it's not due to north, it's just due north. D-U-E north. Due north means exactly north. Okay? Color. Yeah, those are fun, but there are a bunch of fun ones in, Chinese. Chinese has a bunch of words that are very similar to English words that are not quite, like salad, shala, and sofa, shafa, right? There are a bunch of them like that. What's the differences between circumstances and situation? 差不多的意思，差不多的意思，都可以说，都可以。Gift of gab. The gift of gab means to talk. Gabbing is talking. So the gift of gab means you're a good talker. You can talk well. You can speak well with many people. You're comfortable speaking. And you speak a lot. Many people say, I have the gift of gab. My mom has the gift of gab. You could be a seller, but not necessarily. No, like my mom. My mom is the kind of person who you could put her on a bus, right? And maybe nobody speaks English on that bus. Nobody speaks English, right? Maybe they all speak Chinese, right? But my mom, if she's on that bus, when she gets off the bus, she's going to know all of their names. She'll know where they're from. She'll know everything about them. Even if she doesn't speak Chinese, she'll figure it out because she is a talker. so she'll try. She'll just try to talk. Okay? Sophia, 这是因为，I lived in Taiwan for like 5 years, so that's why. I was gonna say it in Chinese, but I'll just tell everybody in English. Yeah, my tones are better for two reasons. One, because I'm a musician. I'm a musician. And musicians, we listen to the sound more carefully. So being a musician means you have a big advantage when you learn a language. And Chinese is a tonal language. So I thought that was really interesting. When I started learning Chinese and I did the tones, right? Like I would do the numbers, right? 一二三四五六七八九十, right? And I would write them. 一二三四五六, right? And I would just write them as I speak them so that I can learn the tones. I remember when I first went to Taiwan and I met a friend from South Africa. He was married to a Taiwanese girl there, and every day he would go practice tennis. He would play tennis, and he'd hit the ball against the wall, right? He'd hit the ball against the wall. And every time he would hit the ball against the wall, he would say, 一二三四五六七八九. And it was driving me crazy because I was trying to learn the right tones. And every day he was saying the same 四声四声四声. It was driving me crazy because I was trying to remember the right sounds, but I couldn't remember them because my friend kept saying all the wrong ones. Susu, I cannot read well at all. I have the translator on. Because one, because my eyes are not so good anymore, and two, because my reading in Chinese is terrible. I haven't practiced reading in a long time, so I can read, but not well. I can speak and listen much better than I can read and write. I did learn how to read and write, but I never did a lot of reading, so I never really got good at it. You know, I have some books, but I've never practiced that much. I need to work on it more. Yeah, somewhat, but the difference is I don't really ever need to learn Chinese for writing. I don't see a situation where I'll ever really need that, right, for writing and reading. I'll work on my reading more, and the more I learn, the better I'll get, right? But for my goals, for my language goals, all I really need is speaking and listening, you know, for what I want to do with Chinese. But it depends on what your goals are. If I want to go to university, now I've got to go back and learn how to write again, right? So what your goals are will determine what standard you set for yourself, okay? And for me, I'm really only worried about speaking and listening mostly, okay? But it depends on what your goals are. When is the concert live streaming coming? I'll play some today. Yeah, I need to practice today. I forgot about that. I do need to practice today. So yeah, I'm gonna eat something and then I'll come back and practice drums for a little while. I don't have too much time, but maybe I have 30 minutes to play drums. You learn English just to have fun. So that's good. But put it this way, Susu, I can write Chinese 因为我可以用拼音，所以我可以写。All right， 如果我要写，我可以写。OK， 就是我还没用铅笔。It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've used a pencil or pen, right? In many years, I haven't tried to write. But with typing, I type Chinese all the time. Okay, so that's the difference. I want you to start learning how to type in English with an English keyboard. Okay? So, when I write Chinese, I can write Chinese with pinyin. Okay? I just can't remember all my characters anymore. I used to write, but I can't remember all my characters anymore. Here, wait, I'll show you. Wait. It's when I went to class. I went to university for 6 months. So I did learn to write a long time ago. Okay, guys, guess what? It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I think that's enough for today. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody over here. I didn't. Good. That's good. So I'm going to go. But before I go, let me just remind you one last time. If you don't know who I am, please get my PDF file. My PDF right here, okay? Everything you need to know about me is in this PDF, okay? I have been on this app. I have been on HelloTalk for more than 12 years. About 90,000 people follow me here. More than 1 million people have watched me around the world. I am a real teacher, and I'm here Monday through Friday. Okay? People come watch and listen and ask me questions. So come ask questions. Okay? How did I start doing live streams as an English teacher? Well, Sophia, I was teaching English in Taiwan, and I was living a lovely life, a happy life in Taiwan. And then I came home for a visit, just for a visit, right? It was supposed to be 2 months. I was gone for 4 years, and then I came home here to America for 2 months, and then COVID happened. While I was here, COVID happened. So then my life in Taiwan got blown up, and now I had to start teaching again. So I decided to start teaching online. Okay? But I started teaching English in 2009. Okay? All right. I'll see you guys next time. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. I do a live stream every Friday for sure. So come back and see me on Friday, tomorrow. Okay? All right. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.